Hey there, Aquarians. Well, you are my last sign today because I started with Pisces this time, and next time I'm going to start with Aquarius. So what I want to talk about is going to move this over a little. We're going to talk about what is going to happen through this next week. Now, I have to apologize. I've had a ton of problems with allergies. A lot of it's dust, winter. I put a humidifier on, and sometimes it works to my nemesis. Sometimes it's not a good thing. So I'm going to grab a Kleenex in here while we go on. But I'm using the Angel Oracle cards. I'm doing this on the 25th for release on the 27th because I got a really busy 2 days ahead. So we're going to talk about this week. A lot of stuff's going on for you guys. First of all, Leo is going through its own story in opposition to you. You're learning from one another. Remember, that's your alter ego. You have Pluto in those very, very beginnings. It's like 0 going into 1. And you have Mars exalting itself in your 12th house in Capricorn. It will then progress into Aquarius as well. You've got Uranus, your sun sign, not in this particular order, your sun sign going direct. So all the things are speeding up and taking far more precedence. I've heard a lot about Aquarians going through this, and this is ending, and this isn't working, and blah, blah, blah. This is not uncommon for what happens with Pluto. Just take care of your health. Don't lose your temper. Calm down. Things will get going. Things will take care. Just take your time. Now, one of the things that's really interesting in here too is that your beginning of your reading has to do with opportunity. And remember something, just because somebody happens to have Pluto on their sun sign and it's going through all this transformation, there's very few people that are like, sage signs, that they're, that they've three elements are rising, or their ascendant, their sun sign, and their moon, or Aquarius. I think in all honesty, for a lot of Aquarians out there, they have a multitude of energies that are affecting the Aquarian energy. And I mean, I went through a lot because I'm a double Capricorn with Leo ascendant when Pluto moved to those first degrees of Capricorn. I did. It was a very transitory time between 2005 and 2010. It was a long drawn out thing until I came into sort of my own acceptance and changed the picture around myself. What you guys have in here is recognition, opportunity. You have in here the Chariot. I've mentioned the Chariot with a few other readings. So, you've got the Six of Wands with the Chariot, which I think can be really quite a dynamic energy at the beginning. And you've also got the Two of Cups, the love card, in regards to love of self, love of another, partnership, affiliation, and association. So, I think in all honesty, this is a power time no matter what you think. First of all, we're just doing a 7-day spread. And in this 7-day spread, you've got 3 major arcana cards. You have the Chariot, Strength, and Temperance. So, I don't think this is negative. Your outcome, though, is this 10 of Wands. Now, the fellow that actually created these cards, who I think is actually very good, he, sort of used this from an oracle sense of giving it sort of one denominated, understanding this is what it's about. And his was burdens. First of all, the 10 of Wands to me is not so much burden. First of all, if you're Martha Stewart, you and Martha Stewart Living, or, you're Lucille Ball and you take over Desilu Productions and go even further. I mean, you're not going to run Pepsi Cola in the case of Joan Crawford and, Desilu Productions without having burdens. So, first of all, we're starting here with recognition. They're then going into an essence of, and I don't want to get too far ahead, but I want you to look at the whole picture here, Aquarians. You're being given a doorway of opportunity. Somehow something's opening. And I don't want to see you kick a gift horse, and you know what I mean. We're not going to say how because I don't like anybody or animals being hurt. But what we're going to talk about here is that you're given opportunity, you're being seen, you're being witnessed, you're being watched. This is a good thing. This is not somebody creeping you. This is a good thing. So then you've got this element about the Chariot. Okay, what does the Chariot really represent? It represents fortitude, I believe. So does the Strength card. But in this essence of the Chariot, it's this fortitude to be able to hold these horses that are pulling away in different directions, different element of essence, and you're trying to pull all this together. And I think this is a good thing. You're also recognizing what you're passionate about. You've got this Two of Cups right next to the Eight of Pentacles, which to me is such a dedicated, economic, financial focus on your career, where you're going to go with your career. Listen, the Pentacles are really more or less all about monetary. I'd say the Five of Pentacles is probably the most conflicting of the Pentacles, but you've got the 8. Then you do have the Strength card. Then you do have Temperance, which is moderation. In this case, she's dipping her toe in the water. She's pouring one cup into the other. The Strength card is this strength to open up the line. So obviously, all of these things could very well lead to, yes, by the time we get to the following Saturday, oh my God, this is expected of me. I've got to do this. I've got to perform. Let me tell you something. I was offered to go in, and I have Venus and Mars conjunct Aries in my, I think, 4th and 5th house. I had to go, I went into the cozy tea room having quit being a confectioner and baker, and at the same time I was acting and auditioning and singing. And I remember that in 1990, I went into this tea room, and there was this lovely little crazy, she was lovely. And she reminded me of Andy Capp's wife, the cartoon character. She was hilarious. And her little apron on. And I'd gone there before. I went in the early 80s, and I knew the cozy tea room. I didn't know it, but I knew it. And I decided, I've got to have faith. I've got to figure out what the heck am I doing. So I went in there. The woman said to me, I knew Diane, but the woman that owned it, or was the manager, Winnie, said, oh, you're going to work here. And I thought, you are on another planet. I am not working here. You've got to be kidding. I don't know what I'm doing. So she said, more or less, said, just do it. And then one of the girls, I said, oh, just shoot the shit. I said, I can't do that. That's not my style. So anyway, make a long story short, I had to cram. I had no idea what I was doing. No idea. Diane from the Cozy Tea Room gave me a set of tarot cards with the meanings on them, and somebody else there, I don't know if it was John or, I don't think it was John. John Deere was there. I don't know who it was. Somebody gave me a book or something on, what playing cards meant, and I had to cram. I was terrified. It was like one of the most intense auditions, callbacks I ever had in my life. So I always say, if I, Hunter Williamson, could do that, you guys could do anything. And I'll tell you, the first day I went in, I had 3 people, and I almost started laughing. But I was tan, and I was a dancer's body, longer hair. Honest to God, I look back and I think, crikey, you were worried and insecure. And I'll tell you, the next day I had 28 readings, and it didn't stop. I met my friend Jan, I met Carol, the list goes on. So, all I'm telling you guys here, whatever's coming, be ready. Because it could be very opportunistic. You don't want to throw away opportunity, but are you going to be burdened? Yeah, probably. Probably. Is it going to be stressful? Is it going to be a lot of work? Is it going to be... Probably. But I mean, not unlike me, having dreams about telling people they're going to jump off a bridge, because I was so terrified getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning, pacing. What am I telling these people? I have no right to do it. I mean, I was freaking out. But I got over it. You get used to it. You get over it. You do it. I remember Judy Garland. There was a story about Judy Garland smoking her cigarette. She's a notorious smoker. Heard a lot of them. And she was walking back and forth in the 60s to perform. She had nobody. She was terrified. She had the kids with her. She, was terrified. God bless her. I love Judy. And she said, what the F am I doing here? I'm shit. I'm garbage. What am I doing here? What am I doing here? Oh my God, I can't believe this. And they opened the curtain. And she butted her cigarette and she walked out and said, the man that got away, started singing. The man that got away. If that lady could do Blessed Be Her, and gave us all what we still listen to when we hear A Star Is Born, or we listen to Over the Rainbow, you can do it, Aquarians. You can do it. Wish you all the best. You heard it here first. You're another one of the little longer ones, you and Pisces, but there's a reason for that. You two have the heavy hitters sitting there. Pluto, Pisces have Capricorn. You also, Aquarians, have Capricorn, presumably, in your 2nd house. Financial, economic responsibility. Wish you guys all the best. You heard it here first. Please hit the bell icon, like the video, and please subscribe. Share it. Let's get this station going. Cheers. Have a great week.